Yo, 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 good morning. Grateful for another maggot-free day above the dirt. Jersey Shore, check that out. So today's video was again suggested by Raul Festante in Germany, and he wanted me to speak on conspiracy theories. And honestly, my first reaction was it didn't resonate with me because, I'm not a doctor. I know nothing about medicine and viruses and the immune system in regard to a pandemic. So, how can I speak on that other than opinion? And, even though most of my videos are opinion, they're steeped in my own personal direct experience and the facts of that experience. So it really means a lot to me to be able to defend my teaching and my points and my opinions with facts. So, with 35 plus years in Buddhism, having been a monk, teaching Buddhism, writing books about Buddhism, I feel confident I could state my case if challenged. But if I say a word about this pandemic, I just don't have that type of knowledge and expertise to talk, and it would just be me spreading my own damn conspiracy theory, right? And then the light bulb went off and I said, you know what? I need to relate this to Buddhist teaching. Duh, right? That's what I do. So what I realized is that Buddhism itself is a conspiracy theory until you have the direct experience that either validates or invalidates a particular teaching or the teachings in general, right? So a conspiracy theory is just a theory, and until there's a direct experience based on fact, it remains a theory. So Buddhism, the Buddha in particular, he said, and I say this all the time, find your own way, carve your own path, be a light unto yourself. Don't take his word for it. Don't take any teaching's word in a dogmatic sense. Don't have blind faith and follow blindly. Go out, test it, have the experience, come to a conclusion. And that's why Buddhism a lot of times is referred to as a science, because practice is the experiment and life is the laboratory. And we can't determine anything without truly experiencing it. And Buddhism, in its innate wisdom, says, go test it and prove it wrong, because if the truth is that this teaching is wrong, or at least wrong for you, Buddhism wants wrongness pointed out. It wants the lie pointed out if it's a lie. It wants bad teachers brought to light. It wants the truth. So, conspiracy theories is another way to bypass reality. It's satisfying emotionally. It could justify and rationalize what we're thinking, what we're feeling, and empower us and help us avoid what's really going on with us. So it falls right into that the issues of judgment and blame and resentment and anger and pushing away and turning away from. It's really easy for me to, and when I say me, I mean us, all of us, to get caught up in stories and narratives. And that's, what Buddhism and meditation is all about. Not doing that. Training the mind, creating mental discipline, not to impulsively just get swept away by a thought. Right? And I know it's difficult, especially with modern technology. You can watch two completely opposing videos and each one can make sense to you. And, you watch the first one and you're like, yeah, that guy's right. And then you watch the second one and you say, no, that other guy wasn't right. This guy's right. And it can be completely opposite. So it's really easy to be swayed. So really, important in Buddhism is realizing that we don't know. It's just such a core teaching, such a foundational, vital point of Buddhism is realizing what we don't know. And realizing how much of our lives we live thinking we know and we don't, right? So, I see all these conspiracy theories out there going around, and my response to them is, I don't know. What I do know is I'm not going to believe them at face value without research. I'm not going to have conviction in them if there's no fact and there's no direct experience on my part to merit that validity, that conviction. And quite frankly, my own personal life dealing with this situation with pandemic and all this is I feel more security in not knowing. And I know that sounds really bizarre to feel better about not knowing, but not knowing is reality in the sense of if I don't know it, it's the most secure place to be. Because when I immerse myself in what I don't know, because I don't know it, it's a very fragile state. It's a very threatening, fearful place to be because I'm always in the doubt mode. I'm always in the fear mode. I'm always full of anxiety. What's right? What's not right? What's true? What's not true? And there's a lot of anxiety attached to that kind of disassociation. So there's a Zen koan that says not knowing is most intimate. What that means is to say you don't know means you know yourself completely. You know the truth intimately. It's the closest you can get to the truth, realizing what you don't know. So let the theories come and go. See what your direct experience is. My direct experience is I know people that are sick and suffering from the virus. I know people that have died from the virus. I know first responders that are living horrific lives right now and in doing what they're doing on the front lines. And what I know, what makes sense to me, since this started, I've social distanced, I've worn a mask, and I've followed advice that so far, my direct experience has been it's working. I'm not sick, thank Buddha. So that's what I know. That's all I know about this. People are sick, people are suffering, people are dying, and I'm taking some precautions and it's not happening to me. That's my complete direct experience. Everything else doesn't matter, to me at least. It doesn't. I'm grateful for another maggot-free day above the dirt. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for my practice. And I understand sometimes going through what we're going through right now can feel like we're in quicksand. Like all the spiritual things we're doing, all the positive things we're doing, rather than kind of getting us out of that quicksand, is kind of just keeping us from going under. And that's not a bad thing. Sometimes spiritual practice is about just surviving in the healthiest way possible. And one way I think people are sinking deeper into that quicksand is to try to hold on to conspiracy theories, because it's just dragging them down. It's not lifting them up, it's dragging them down more into the muck until, eventually they're just so overwhelmed with it, they're sucked all the way down into the quicksand of it and choking to death. So I hope that satisfies Raul. And thanks for the suggestion, buddy. And have a great maggot-free day above the dirt. Peace out.